Okay, so WWE Night of Champions has come and passed. We have two matches that are currently set up for WWE SummerSlam on August 2nd and August 3rd from MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. And we even had a title change on this show. Let's get right to it. Or I was surprised they started with such a high profile match, but we started with the King of the Ring tournament, Randy Orton, last year's finals King of the Ring runner up to the ring general Gunther, tried to take it away from the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. And early on, the crowd was into both wrestlers. They were singing voices, they were singing Kingdom, they were saying, "Let's go, Randy, let's go, Cody. This is awesome." Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in Riyadh was completely on fire. Then we got into the match, and early on, after a few hour process, Randy Orton goes for a big suplex, his vintage Orton suplex off the top rope to Cody Rhodes. And at that point, that was the main injury for this contest, was Randy Orton's back. Cody Rhodes was playing a little bit of a heel here because he was punching Randy Orton in the back. He took him to the turnbuckle. He dragged him down. Cody was really working slow and methodical, proving that he will do anything to get a shot back at either John Cena or CM Punk later in the night. We would find out, obviously, who would be the undisputed WWE champion going into SummerSlam. But Cody Rhodes did not take any stone unturned here. Cody would hit a Cody Cutter on Randy Orton. Randy Orton would kick out, but barely. Cody would hit a super Cody Cutter on Randy Orton, which I thought Randy would turn into an RKO. He did not. He would kick out at two. Cody Rhodes would hit a crossroads on the Viper. Randy Orton would then kick out. Cody Rhodes, frustrated off a kick out of the crossroads, would go to pick up Randy Orton, and out of nowhere, bam, an RKO would connect. One, two, two and a half. The American Nightmare kicks out. At this point, Cody Rhodes would go for a super Cody Cutter. Randy Orton would again catch him with a second RKO. One, two, and this time, Randy Orton going back to the heelish, devilish days of legacy with him, Cody Rhodes, and Ted DiBiase Jr. would untie the turnbuckle. He would go to put Cody Rhodes' face into the turnbuckle, but Cody would counter. Then Cody would counter an RKO attempt and send Randy Orton's ribs into that exposed turnbuckle, allowing for a second crossroads in the American Nightmare. One, two, three. And in his promo after, the new King of the Ring, the American Nightmare, would go on to say that, well, he thanked Randy Orton. He's the modern day locker room leader. How great he is as a competitor. It does not matter who is the undisputed champion at the end of the day, whether it is John Cena, whether it is Chick Magnet Punk. He is getting his ball back. He is the quarterback, and he will stop at nothing to do so, which again, I think may plant the seeds of what's to come at SummerSlam, and I'll get to that later in our main event. Then we had a very physical street fight between Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez, renewing their rivalry because they did not know what to do with Raquel Rodriguez at this point now that Liv Morgan is out of action. I believe they're going to eventually put the WWE Tag Team Championships on Raquel and Roxanne Perez, the way they did with Naomi and Bianca Belair when Jade Cargill went out with injury. But Roxanne Perez did interfere in this match when Rhea Ripley was looking to take down Nia Jax. Roxanne Perez and Rhea, they did a little awkward sort of spinning DDT on the floor where it looked like Roxanne did not get her bearings. Raquel Rodriguez did dominate the majority of this match. Early on, she put Rhea Ripley in the ropes, used a kendo stick. Rhea did use a steel chair to bat in the face of Raquel. They did do a spot with the steel steps. They did do a spot where, Raquel would counter a power bomb of Rhea Ripley's and power bomb her through the cow of the announce table to the outside for the timekeeper's area, which looked like a really nasty fall for Ripley. But there wasn't a lot of different weapons. Yes, there was the garbage can spot with Rhea sliding in to Roxanne Perez on the outside, but no weapon was used for a whole lot of time. eventually the table was used not to put somebody through, but as a balancing act, as Rhea Ripley would hit the riptide from the top rope, the avalanche riptide to Raquel Rodriguez, as I predicted she would in my predictions to win this match 1, 2, 3. And they keep mentioning that Rhea Ripley wants her shot for the Women's World Championship to earn Io Sky, potentially run it back down the road. Rhea Ripley's such a big star. Oh, like Gunther getting the World Championship back from Jey Uso. You can totally put the World Championship back on Rhea Ripley, and I don't think anybody would have an issue with it. Then we had Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross, and we all know how this match came about because of the internet buzz that Karrion Kross has gotten since his incredible promo right after WrestleMania, talking about how he's barely been used. He didn't mention the Final Testament at all, but he broke every fourth wall in WWE. How essentially WWE, has this archetype, and if you don't fit into it, you're going to be sitting in the back and catering. And I'm going to be honest. It hit me during this match, my issue with Karrion Kross. It's not that I don't think Karrion Kross is a compelling character, because I do. And as a matter of fact, I think he's a very compelling character. I think his entrance is amazing. I think he can talk with the best of them. I think, he may be the closest thing next to the Wyatt Six of Bray Wyatt that we have in WWE. Just his ability to be dark and mysterious and cut these promos and, be the guy who caused the heel turn for the likes of Finn Balor, for Shinsuke Nakamura, for Drew McIntyre. Right, there was a time where Cross's gimmick in WWE was everybody he wrestled would eventually turn heel. But the problem with Cross is, as good as his mic skills are, he's just not very good in the ring. He has the look. I love the long hair Karrion Kross a lot better than the short look. Scarlett is a tremendously cutting, very good heel manager. It's just Cross's moves, and he does the Doomsday suplex like 3 or 4 times, and it does no damage to Sami Zayn. And he's doing the clotheslines in the corner. And, I think Karrion Kross wanted to bump a lot in this match. There was the spot where there was the exploder suplex on the outside. There was a nasty dive on the outside. I think Karrion Kross heard the tweets and the responses that, the reason why Karrion Kross isn't on TV is because no one wants to work with him because he doesn't take bumps, which I thought that was total bullshit, right? If you ever watched his matches, he had a physical steel cage match, if you recall, an Extreme Rules match with Drew McIntyre. He took a ton of bumps on the main roster. So I discredit that to begin with, and I think Kross wanted to discredit that here in this match. I thought Kross would go over here. I thought maybe it was the beginning of a push for him, but in the end, Sami Zayn hits the hula kick. Bam, 1, 2, 3. He puts down Karrion Kross. He puts down his arch nemesis. Maybe he puts that behind him, and maybe after Gunther does send Oldberg to the Shadow Realm on the Saturday night's main event on July 12th, maybe we get back to Gunther and Sami Zayn, the man who defeated Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania 40. Wouldn't it be something if he beat him for the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam 2025? And Sami Zayn did make an appearance in the main event that we will get to. But this Sami Zayn defeating Karrion Kross, when I predicted Karrion Kross to win, started a string of a little bit of bad luck for me for predictions. The next match was the U.S. Championship between Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. And, I thought these two would come out. I thought it would be a quick match. I thought they would throw some bombs. They really didn't. It was slow starting up until JC Mateo came out, and Jacob Fatu obviously took care of him. But then out comes Tonga Loa from the crowd, dressed in a black hoodie, taking down Jacob Fatu from the apron. Tonga Loa is back. But then Jacob Fatu took care of him. He ends up going for the moonsault on Solo Sikoa. This is after he's already taken an Impale DDT. He's already taken a Swanton Bomb. And once he hits the moonsault, who pulls him out of the ring? It's Haiku. And, WWE did not mention his name on television because I think they're going to change his name for the main roster the way they didn't already mention JC Mateo's name his first night, in WWE because they were going to change his ring name to JC Mateo. But Haiku is in WWE and he creates the distraction. He chokeslams Jacob Fatu on the regular announce table. He tells Jacob Fatu he messed up. Solo Sikoa hits the Samoan spike, and it is 1, 2, 3. And a bigger deal than Solo Sikoa winning the United States Championship, which, in my opinion, the U.S. Championship is nothing like the Intercontinental Championship at this point over on the Red brand on Monday Night Raw. The thing is, Solo Sikoa by hook or by crook is the first person in WWE in over a year to finally pin Jacob Fatu. Now, I had predicted Haiku to make his debut, but I thought it was going to be a distraction thing where it was going to be a disqualification and they were going to keep the championship on Jacob Fatu because I thought you could go all the way to WrestleMania 42 with Jacob Fatu not eating a pin or a submission. And I said this on Championship Rings with my debate partner Josh Unger on Thursday night, actually this week. I was speculating whether it could be a Braun Breaker or a Brunson Reed giving Jacob Fatu his first loss because the one thing I said was I don't think Solo Sikoa is that guy to give Jacob Fatu his first loss, even if I think Aiku is going to make his WWE debut. And yet, Solo Sikoa was the one to give Jacob Fatu his first loss. And now we're going to get probably Tama Tonga back in the fold eventually. JC Mateo, Tonga Wawa, and this, whatever Haiku's new name in WWE is going to be, along with Solo Sikoa in sort of the Bloodline version 3.0, if you will. And Jacob Fatu's going to be fighting it, and maybe he gets Jimmy Uso and some other guys because, these Bloodline guys seem to never want to stop fighting each other. It's just going to be the ever ending feud in professional wrestling that is the Anoa'i family fighting each other. But that is the Bloodline story, and here we are, and Solo Sikoa is the new United States champion. Then we got Jade Cargill versus Asuka, which was a little bit of a clunky match. Jade Cargill, for being in AEW, coming over to WWE very slowly. She was in the tag team with Bianca Belair forever. She is still very clunky at times in the ring, though her look, we talk about this all the time for professional wrestlers, right? Is that you got the look. I said this about Karrion Kross earlier. He's got the look. He's got the character. He's got everything. He just can't wrestle. And you can make the same case about Jade Cargill, although I think she's gotten better since she's been in WWE, but not by a whole lot. And Asuka's a small girl. And I've never been the biggest fan of Asuka either. I don't really care about the fact how great she is in NXT and this undefeated streak and all that. And she's a great wrestler. I don't think she's a great promo at all. No one is ready for it is about it. That's all she can really do. Um, but Asuka would go for an Asuka walk. Jade would basically get out of it. Asuka would go for the Empress Impact. Jade would turn it into a Jaded, and 1, 2, 3. Jade Cargill is the queen of the ring. Now, I had said going into it, I thought Cody Rhodes was going to be king of the ring. I did not think WWE was going to put Cody Rhodes and Jade Cargill, both SmackDown superstars, the king and queen of the ring this year. But I guess theoretically, John Cena is going to be on Raw at times too. So Cody Rhodes will be on Raw at times. But this was the match that we got the SmackDown after WrestleMania 41, and we never got a conclusion to it because of interference from Naomi. We are going to get Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton. It is indeed Tiffy time at SummerSlam MetLife Stadium, what I believe will be night one of MetLife Stadium. It even could be theoretically the main event if Gunther does not face Sami Zayn and goes on to face somebody else. I do think Naomi will cash in the Money in the Bank on Jade Cargill after she does it jaded on Tiffany Stratton. But my question here is, I think Naomi's going to be champion. You're going to have Jade Cargill in the mix. Obviously, I think we're going to get Bianca Belair in the mix here. We're going to have sort of Naomi as a heel, Bianca as the tweener, and Jade as the babyface in this triple threat match for the WWE Women's Championship down the line. But in order to get there, as I mentioned, we're going to get Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's Championship. Well, Tiffany Stratton is a full-on face. She's only been in the industry for less than 5 years. She is charismatic. She is special. And she can do it in the ring as well. She is going to be an all-time talent, I believe, in WWE. And I think she's better baby than heel. But Jade has not been a heel, and I don't think the plan is to earn her heel. So how is this going to go? Is this going to be similar to how Tiffany versus Charlotte was at WrestleMania, where Tiffany was supposed to be the heel but just wasn't, and they had to slowly turn her into the face? I don't know. Then we get to the main event. CM Punk versus the last real champion, the never seen 17, gracing Riyadh with his presence one final time. Johnny Boy Cena. And listen, for the most part, early on, it was obviously a feeling out contest. They both go for their finishing moves early. Cena wound up actually getting 3 AAs on CM Punk, which CM Punk was able to kick out of all 3 AAs. And as always, the match starts off slow because Cena was being a little bit of a chicken heel shit, which he has done historically throughout his title reign. But the match really picked up when John Cena went to go grab the championship belt, and Dan Angler, the official, which is going to be key in all of this. Dan Angler's telling Cena, don't hit him with the championship. You're going to get disqualified. And Cena ends up dropping the championship. CM Punk hits Cena with a go to sleep, but John Cena kicks out. Now, at this point, there's a spot where John Cena goes for a shoulder tackle on Punk. Punk ducks out of the way. Cena hits referee Dan Angler, who is now down on the outside. Punk hits Cena with a go to sleep. There is obviously no official, as we've grown accustomed to in these John Cena undisputed WWE Championship matches. The fact that John Cena has more rep bumps than the OTC did as the undisputed WWE Champion. But with that being said, when Punk calls for another official, whoa, whoa, Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, Ron Breaker, Bronson Reed make their way down to the ring. And they not only attack CM Punk, but John Cena's pissed off at Seth Rollins too, because John Cena doesn't want Seth Rollins to cash in on him. John Cena, of course, ends up taking out Seth Rollins with an AA, which leaves Bronson Reed to come in and take out John Cena. At this point, Braun Breaker is now fighting with CM Punk somewhere on the apron. Out comes Penta to make the save because Penta's had a real rivalry with Breaker. Then Breaker and Penta start fighting. And then Sami Zayn makes his way down to the ring to save Penta. And we get this spot where Breaker and Penta are brawling on the outside. Or excuse me, Breaker and Sami are brawling on the outside. They go to the stage area. Penta does an incredible dive off the stage to take out Breaker and Sami Zayn out of this equation. Bronson Reed then goes for a tsunami on the top rope, but CM Punk yanks him down. This sets up CM Punk and John Cena one more time. And Punk and Cena had to help each other take out Seth Rollins and his henchmen. And Punk goes to shake Cena's hands. And just like an Elimination Chamber, John Cena goes for the handshake and gets very serious and goes for the low blow. And CM Punk counters it right into a go to sleep. But as he's going for the go to sleep, Seth Rollins hits CM Punk with the Money in the Bank contract. But John Cena then throws CM Punk out of the ring, and Dan Angler climbs back in the ring for the 1, 2, 3, a very quick count before Seth Rollins get back in the ring, and chicken eel shit John Cena is still ruining wrestling by retaining the undisputed WWE Championship. And in the midst of all this, when Seth Rollins goes to potentially cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase on John Cena, he calls out another referee down to the ring in Charles Robinson, who also officiated the Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes match, the first match of the evening. And John Cena gives Charles Robinson the biggest shoulder tackle ever. Charles Robinson flies about 100 feet because John Cena does not want Seth Rollins cashing in on him, and wrestling is hysterical. But let me get to this point. So the match was good. It's Cena and Punk. It's always going to be good. It's in Riyadh. It's whatever. Cena and Punk one more time. I'm game for it. I want to talk about what we have moving forward, because the day after WrestleMania 41 happened and John Cena became the never seen 17, I predicted the rematch at SummerSlam. John Cena, Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is going to get his championship back, and that's how we're going to get eventual babyface John Cena. And commentary has been making these marks of, is John Cena changing? Does John Cena realize how bad he's been to the fans? There have been times in matches where John Cena has been hesitant to cheat because maybe the fans are starting to get to him, because we are less than 6 months from the retirement of arguably the greatest of all time, John Cena. I'm wondering, folks, if, for the sake of argument, let's say WWE still wants to go through. There are two options I think they could do for SummerSlam. One is they still want to go through with Sami Zayn and Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. Sami Zayn wins it, main event of night one. Seth Rollins cashes in on Sami Zayn, stomps his head into the mat. 1, 2, 3. We get a Sami Zayn WrestleMania 42 redemption arc, like we did Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30 with the Authority. Sami Zayn can win the Royal Rumble. We get Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 42. On the Undisputed Championship side, that would then lead to Cody Rhodes and John Cena. And as I already mentioned, I think Cody Rhodes is going to win this match. But hear me out. What if The Rock, who we have not seen since the Elimination Chamber, makes an appearance either during the build-up or hell, just during the night 2 main event of SummerSlam, the way he did not make an appearance at WrestleMania 41. And instead of John Cena using The Rock to help him retain the Undisputed Championship, what if WWE did a double heel turn and Cody Rhodes was the one to kick John Cena in the balls? Cody Rhodes aligns with the final boss because Cody Rhodes has said in Night of Champions that he will do whatever it takes to win the Undisputed Championship back. He is no longer the quarterback. He is no longer the man of the people. John Cena once again becomes the man of the people. And in his last match, he is the one to try to take away the championship from the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and he becomes an 18-time world champion. I think that scenario was on the table. I also think there's a scenario where The Rock does not get involved. Travis Scott does not get involved. But Seth Rollins still does cash in the Money in the Bank contract. Maybe you don't do Gunther versus Sami Zayn. It's Gunther versus somebody else for the World Championship. And Seth Rollins cashes in on Cody Rhodes and walks out the undisputed WWE Champion. And we know Paul Heyman's relationship with The Rock. That plays into it down the line. And that crown jewel, maybe we get, I don't know, you could get Seth and Cody. I don't know. Or you could even do that at the Clash of the Castle event in Paris. I think there's a lot of different options there in WWE we could go. I'm excited for SummerSlam. We're 36 days away. As of today, I'm recording right after the Night of Champions PLE went off the air, so I can give you my live feedback of the PLE, which I thought overall, listen, it wasn't the strongest PLE in the world, but it was a good show. I thought the opening match and the main event saved this show from being a waste of a show, to be honest with you. Not a ton happened on this show, but we did get the setup for Jade and Tiffany, Cody and Cena, and the debut of Haiku. Like that clip from the Brand's World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brand's World podcast right here on YouTube.